Welcome to the Unfuck Your Fitness podcast. I am your host, Christy Castillo, and I'm here to give you real talk and cut the BS so you can actually enjoy building a body you love. I'm a personal trainer obsessed with giving you simple action steps to take you from feeling stuck to feeling sexy. Let's go. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to today's episode number 60. We're just killing it. I remember when I first had the idea to create a podcast and I was like, what am I going to talk about every single week? Like, how am I going to find something to talk about every single week for as long as the show must go on? And here we are. Apparently, I have thought of 60 topics so far, at least, to teach you. Thanks to you, my clients, for trusting me and asking me all these questions so that I can jump on here and create the answers for all of you. So anyway, welcome to today's episode. I'm excited about today's episode. We are going to be talking about healthy eating and specifically why just eating healthy, and I say like healthy in quotations, why just eating healthy isn't enough to get you the body that you want. Why you can be eating so healthy and still not losing weight and still not feeling toned and still not having energy and still not getting the results you want, period. So this is something that I hear a lot from my ladies when a client first comes on to work with me. I will ask, of course, what they're doing right now. What are you doing right now to get you to your goals? And what have you been doing in the last few years? And then what have you been doing like long term, like 10 years or more? Like, what is your past history, look like with health and fitness? What diets have you tried? What worked and what didn't? And a very common thing that I will hear people say, like present moment, is something like, well, I'm eating super healthy and I'm still not seeing weight loss. Or I eat really healthy, but I just don't know what workouts to do. Or I'm eating healthier than I ever have before and I'm still not getting the results that I want. I still need your help, Christy. So something in reference to eating healthy and still not feeling like that is enough. It's almost like you think that since you're eating healthy now, whatever that means for you, it's like, since you think like you figured it out, like I'm eating healthy, I'm doing really good, and I'm still not seeing results, like it must be I'm the problem. Like nothing's going to work for me. Clearly I've tried it all. I'm eating extremely healthy even, and I'm not seeing the results that I want. I'm not, seeing weight loss. So this seems to be very common. So I don't know if it's that you think you've tried everything, including healthy eating, for God's sake, and you're like, nope, can't do it on my own. I need Christy. So I'm not sure exactly what it is, what kind of a pattern, but that seems to be something that is extremely confident. And I can relate to that as well. I want to dive into this. So actually I went live in my Facebook group earlier today because I've had a lot of newer clients starting to work with me. And so I've had a lot more conversations, or even just, conversations once a month or whenever. My private clients kind of get phone calls whenever they need them, depending on where they're at in their journey. And so I've been having a lot more one-on-one calls, and that I've been hearing that a lot as well. Like, I'm still eating really healthy, so I don't understand, what's going on. And of course we have to tweak their macros and all the things. But one thing I've noticed is that, and I talked about this in my live video and my Facebook group earlier too, because I found that a lot of my ladies in that group are feeling the same way, like they're eating healthy and not seeing results. So I want to first note that eating healthy means something different for everyone. There are so many ways that you can eat quote unquote healthy. And this, along my own personal journey, and I think along your journey too, the version of health or the definition of healthy, I think it graduates. I think as we get smarter and we try different things, we realize, okay, that maybe wasn't necessarily healthy, right? Keto isn't necessarily healthy for you unless it's for medical reasons. Cutting carbs isn't healthy for you unless for some reason, for a medical reason, you can't digest carbs. Eating low calorie isn't healthy for you because your body needs calories to function. So as you know, the more you learn, I think the more you realize that, oh, what I was doing wasn't that healthy, but you're doing what you think is healthy right now because it's the best you know at the moment, right? But there was a time in my life, and I talked about this also on my live video, that for me, I thought that bagels and cream cheese were like the healthiest thing. This is where I started, you guys. I also remember when early on in my marriage, like we had just gotten married. I don't think we'd had kids yet. And I remember like being so proud of myself because I was, making these healthy meals from home. I remember cooking. It would be just like chicken and like frozen vegetables mixed with, who knows, some other friggin' ingredients. I can't even list them off. What I'm trying to say is it was not healthy. It was not, for me at the time, I thought bagels and cream cheese were the healthiest thing. And I'm not saying that these things aren't healthy or aren't fine. These are fine foods. But for God's sake, a bagel and cream cheese is not the epitome of health, right? A homemade meal with chicken and frozen veggies and like stuffing and cream of mushroom soup or something like that, like delicious. And I thought like since I was making it from home and I had planned ahead and prepared and I was proud of myself, and damn it, I was doing a good job at the time. But that's not necessarily healthy. What I'm trying to say is for different people, quote unquote healthy can mean something completely different. There's a huge range of what quote unquote healthy foods look like. For some people, it can go as far as being only clean eating. If you eat any processed food, that's not healthy. For other people, it can mean like cutting out dairy and cutting out gluten because those foods aren't quote unquote healthy. So the point I want you to take away from this is what you think is healthy. If you were to come to me and say like, I'm eating super healthy, I don't know what's wrong. That word healthy means something completely different to you than it does to like the next person that comes to me. So to say that you are eating healthy, while that is amazing, and I do applaud your efforts in improving and trying to be healthier, it doesn't necessarily mean that that is the end all be all. And that's the final thing of like what's going to work for you. And so I was there. Like I said, I did not have a plan. I was totally winging it. I was, getting my recipes from who knows where on the internet. I didn't know anything about calories or proteins, carbs, and fats. I just thought like, well, it has a couple veggies in it, so it's healthy. I didn't know. So your starting point with quote unquote healthy, it's very broad. It's very broad and it's not correct, obviously, because if eating healthy was enough to get you the body that you wanted and you were eating healthy, then you would have the body you wanted. So clearly that is just not enough. Not to mention that just because it's healthy doesn't mean that it's not too restrictive or that it's not good for you. Some people do have food allergies or food intolerances, and that is a whole different topic. When I was in the really rough times, the really bad, painful, exhausting years of figuring out my digestion issues, my autoimmune issues, I was eating all the fruit, all the vegetables, which you would think are healthy foods, and they are. I was eating sometimes only that. I did different cleanses and different, protocols where I would only eat fruits and vegetables to, aid in helping my gut and repairing my digestive system. And I was still not able to digest those foods. So I was still in pain. I was still bloated. I was still not healthy, even though I was eating all fruits and vegetables. So that's a different topic, but also I do want to touch on that because just because you're eating healthy doesn't mean your body can digest it, or it doesn't mean that it's the best option for you. It doesn't mean that that's all you need to do to get into shape. Will that improve your health if you don't have any digestion issues or intolerances, things like that? 100%, but it's not necessarily like this is it. I'm eating healthy and I'm cutting out all these things and I'm not eating any processed food, so I should have the body I want. This is it. And that's just not true. For the general public, it's a matter of understanding the basic principle of what fueling your body looks like. In the diet cycle, in the diet industry, in this culture, we forget the importance of feeding your body. When is the last time you looked into like how to lose weight or a shake, a fat loss shake, a weight loss shake, a cleanse, a pill, a supplement? When's the last time you went into a diet or a program or a challenge, whatever, thinking, I really hope this fuels my body. I really hope this helps me feel the best I can feel. I really hope that this helps my body, be the best version of itself. Like never. I personally have never went into, until I started the lifestyle I'm on now, I never went into a quick fix, fad diet, something like that, thinking, I really hope this makes me feel the best. I really hope this makes me be the best version of myself from the inside out. Never did I think that. I always went into it like, I really hope this kicks my ass and I hope that I see results and I hope that I lose weight and I hope that I have the body I want. It was always like putting my basic needs of fueling my body last. Like it was as if that didn't matter and it was because I didn't know any difference. But that's what this podcast episode is going to be. That's who it's going to be for. It's going to be for the general public who you're just missing the basic principle. Or even after listening to all other 59 episodes of this podcast, maybe you're still not quite sure if this can work for you or that this is for you. So this is for you 100%. Let me just tell you, this is your sign. If you're wondering if this can work for you, it can. So the basis of this is your body needs fuel and your body needs enough fuel. So just eating clean or just eating healthy doesn't mean that you're eating enough. So just because I gave this analogy as well in my live video in my Facebook group, let's take your car, for example. We're moving out of the realm of your body and we're moving into your vehicle. Just because you give your car the highest quality gasoline on the market on earth doesn't mean that it won't run out of fuel. Or if you give your car too much of that amazing high quality fuel, it will spill out, right? So just because you're giving your car the highest quality gas, if you don't give it the right amount, if you run out or you fill it too far, you've got a problem. Same thing with your body. This analogy translates to calories. If you don't feed your body enough calories, aka fuel, it will store fat to use as fuel. If you feed your body too many calories, it will store those extra calories as fat as well. So it's very important that you give your body the correct amount of fuel, and you will have to keep filling your tank, aka eating, just like you have to keep filling your gas tank so you don't run out of fuel. You'll have to keep feeding your body on a regular basis the right amount of food, or your body won't be able to function properly. You don't always have to be full, and you don't ever want to be on empty. But you do need to fuel it often enough that you are keeping enough in your tank for your body to be able to function properly. So even if you're eating healthy, that doesn't mean that you're eating the right amount. Are you eating too much? Are you eating not enough? Chances are it's got to be one or the other. If you're eating healthy, I'm eating quote unquote healthy, Christy, that's great. But you're either eating too much or you're not eating enough. The only way to know for sure is to find out how much fuel your body needs. This is called your maintenance calories. We've talked about that on the podcast before, but basically finding your maintenance calories is like finding your baseline of how big your tank is. How much fuel does your body need? And you can't just wing it. You have to know, right? We don't come with an instruction manual, unfortunately, written out or typed out. You have to do the work yourself. And it's like an experiment. So it's kind of like budgeting your money. Again, we're going out of the realm of your body and we're going now into the realm of budgeting your money. So saying that I'm saving more money. Let's say you don't understand why you're making a really good income, but you're freaking broke at the end of the month. You're not keeping track of your money. You have no idea where it's going. So saying like, well, I'm saving more than I did, last week or last month, or I'm spending less than I did, last week or last month, it doesn't mean that you're still not spending too much. Just because you're spending less than you did last week doesn't mean that you're still not spending. Like, you still could be spending more than you're making just because you're spending less. It also doesn't mean that you're saving the right amount. Just because like, well, I'm saving more money doesn't mean that you're saving enough or saving the right amount. The only way to track or to know that is to track it. Same thing with your body. You don't know at all how much you're eating, especially if you're just like one of those healthy eaters. Like, well, I'm eating healthy. You have no idea how much you're eating unless you track it. And macro calorie, tracking apps are a best guess. They are just an app. They're technology. They're made by humans. They do have flaws. But the good thing is that that's trial and error. You never have to be perfect along this journey, but tracking is a very good tool. And if you look at it as gaining knowledge and just understanding and getting a baseline of what you're eating, and this can also be healthy eating. You don't have to change what you're eating. You just have to kind of log it into an app to get an awareness of exactly what you're eating and exactly what the amounts are and how that translates to how much fuel your body needs. You have to fill up your tank. You have to fill up your body. And so that looks like kind of trial and error, but the only way to do that is to track. And I know that some of you do not want to track. I know some of you think that's so tedious and it takes so much time and it's annoying and it's restrictive and you could become obsessed with it, but you really have to just change your mindset. Just because in the past that's how you viewed macro tracking doesn't mean that that's true. Just because you feel like macro tracking is restrictive or you can become obsessed with it, that doesn't mean that it's true. So I do challenge you to kind of look at your outlook on that. I teach my ladies, my clients, to track their food when they first come in with me with no expectations. Just literally put down what you are eating in an app and see what it translates to, because you could think you're eating really healthy, but on the app, it's like a shit ton of carbs that you do not need. And you're like, oh, I didn't realize that this quote unquote healthy food was all carbs and no protein. If you don't know, then how do you fix it, right? So you just have to kind of look at macro tracking as knowledge and gaining awareness and gaining understanding. And don't look at it at all, especially at first, as being restrictive. It's just knowledge to figure out how much you need to be eating. That way it takes you out of the guessing game of, well, I'm eating healthy, I don't know why I'm not losing weight, and now you'll understand because you see it all out in front of you. You have the information and you can make the adjustments. That being said, I know that you have probably seen people not tracking their food, kind of like me. I don't track my food all the time. And I'm still, have a pretty dang good body and I'm still pretty healthy, right? So there are people, I'm sure that you've seen, like I said, that are not tracking their food, or I'm sure you've heard people say that they just eat intuitively or just eat healthy, like I said at the beginning of the episode. And if there are people that you know that are not tracking their food, that say they just eat intuitively and they listen to their body, or they just eat healthy, like, I don't know, I'm not really doing a diet, I'm just eating healthy. Let me assure you, those people have put in the time. They have put in the freaking work. I told you a few weeks ago in an episode that me not tracking my food right now is possible because I once, for a long period of time, tracked my food, looked at the knowledge, made the changes, did experiments, went up, went down. I did all of the things. I put in the freaking time to be able to say, now I can eat intuitively. That's what I teach my ladies to do, but it takes a while. It takes a while. It takes trusting me, teaching you how to do this. It takes you trusting yourself and that you don't have to be so obsessive. And that eventually, after tracking and having the knowledge, you can absolutely stop tracking your food or just track every once in a while. You can absolutely eat intuitively and listen to your body. You can absolutely just wing it and eat healthy, but you have to get your metabolism to a place where you're able to do that. You can't do that without putting in the time to get to know what your body needs. Once you've put in that time to get to know your body And once your body trusts you because you've been consistent enough and you've taught it well, you have a lot more wiggle room and you can eat intuitively, but only after you've put in the time to do so. This is how you see results. You will get the results as you are doing this process, as you are figuring out how much fuel your body needs, how many calories you can have, what that macro breakdown looks like. You will get results in that time frame, but once you nail your foundation, which is finding out what macros work for you, how much fuel your body needs, how much healthy eating you have to do, along with the right workout program, you will see results while you're finding that out. But once you nail it and your body begins to trust you, it is smooth sailing. And you can choose what that looks like for you based on your goals, of course. The last thing I want to touch on is the sooner you start this process of learning exactly how much fuel and learning how to fuel your body, the better. Health and fitness should start as early on in your life as possible. I would love to teach as many women this concept and how to fuel your body and how to have the confidence and the awareness and the understanding. Like, I wish this was something that was actually taught in health class. I wish health class in high school, if they even have that anymore, I wish this was taught in a way that especially women, but definitely young men too, that we understood this and we could start this process so young in life. It's so important that you start though as soon as you know better. So right now, right? Learning this in your 20s and starting to practice it is ideal, but whatever age you're at right now is better than not at all. They say, like, once you know better, do better, right? So as you're learning this stuff, like, you have to start putting it into practice. I'll be honest, if I were just hearing this information at my age of 41, I would be kind of freaked out in the sense that I would need to go all in and really learn how to get my foundation set, because 41 is not old. It's not. And 51 is not old. And 61 is not all that old. But as we go on through life, we do start to see things progress where our bodies kind of deteriorate. You start to see diseases pop up. You start to see, low blood sugar, whatever's kind of like hereditary in your family. You start to see those things pop up. And when those things pop up on our lab work or, whatever kind of testing we're getting done through our doctor, that seems to be when people take action. It's like, oh, my blood test came back and I, have low this and high that, and I really need to get on some medication and I really need to adjust my lifestyle and start eating better. Well, no shit. But if you would have started in your 20s, 30s, even 40s, for God's sake, like, go all in if you're in your 40s or 50s, because it's time. It's like you either have to put in the time now. You put in the time, you put in a little money to buy some supplements, you put in that time to learn and to do, right? You want to learn how to fuel your body, and you also want to do the workouts and build that muscle foundation and get your body strong and healthy. You put that time in now, or you will have to put that time in later by getting on medication and then really diving in and figuring out, now it's too late because you've already been diagnosed with something or your levels are affected. And so now it's like, I have to do this because time is of the essence. This is already a problem. Now I have to figure out how to maintain it. Maybe you can't even fix it. Whereas if you would have spent the time earlier building that foundation and getting health, that would come into play when your blood test came back and like, you're all good. Like right now, my blood tests are coming back and my doctor's like, you're good. Like your BMI is good. Everything's pretty good. Usually my iron's kind of low. I need a little more, I need a little bit more greens and some sunshine, some vitamin D. But like for the most part, my lab work comes back pretty good, and it always pretty much has. And so it's because I put in the time the last, 15 years almost to set my foundation up good. I don't say this to say, or like to brag or to be like, wow, you're really behind the times. I say this because it's true. It's time to go all in, because you're either going to have to put the time and the money in now and prepare for your aging process, or you're going to go through your aging process, find out things that you're going to have to learn about and pay attention to. Either way, you're going to have to put time and money into it. I personally would rather put the time and money in sooner so that I can live a longer, hopefully healthier life as you go. That's the basis of all this. The longer you get stuck in these 30-day challenges and these 75, hard, which, go you, I guess, if you want to do that. But all those things are doing is setting you up for a diet cycle. You cut those things out for 30 days and then you add those things right back in, or you suffer for 75 days and then you go right back to living this lifestyle of being able to maintain, because those challenges are not maintainable. Yeah, they have a purpose and they kick your ass into gear. But honestly, that mentality and that physically on your body, it's just a cycle. And I hope you see the cycle of starting a 30-day challenge, stopping, starting another challenge, stopping, starting another challenge, stopping. This is your body not trusting you. What is going on? Why are we doing this again? Holy shit, Christy, let's get off this stupid cycle. What is going on? Am I supposed to store calories? Are you feeding me? This is just teaching your body to not trust you. That's all those challenges are doing. So I teach this process of really understanding your body to my private coaching clients in depth. I teach it to my shred clients and my other clients in my other programs gradually, like a little bit less. But my private coaching clients, it's a slow process, but it works. And that's why we spend at least 12 weeks together diving into this personally for them. So I have my ladies track their foods for a week, and then I set targets for them to work toward. Once they start to track and work towards the goal and get closer to hitting it consistently, it starts to make a lot more sense. I can keep an eye on this with them and their foods and their calories. I explain the process so they know exactly what to expect. And once we find their maintenance calories, their body starts to trust them along with the workouts. Their bodies start to change, and my ladies start to see that this is going to work, that they begin to trust and they begin to gain that confidence in themselves. Like, this is it and this is what is going to work. So if this is something you're struggling with and you would be interested in working with me, you can shoot me an email for more information, or you can click the link for my private coaching that is below in the show notes. And I would love to work on this personally with you. One of the benefits of having a coach work alongside you is you can ask me anything. I'm there for you. It just really expedites the process, and it really assures you that you're on the right track instead of trying it for a few weeks, second guessing and falling off the wagon, right? So I would love to work with you, or if you just have any questions, as always, be sure to send me a DM at Christy Castillo Fit on Instagram or shoot me an email. You know where to find me. I hope this episode was so helpful, and I will talk to you next week. Thanks for listening to today's show. Go ahead and leave a rating and a review, and of course, follow the podcast so you don't miss out on any future episodes. And I would love it so much if you came to connect with me over on Instagram at Christy Castillo Fit. I will see you next time.